So the Donald Trump clown show continues, and as it turns out, Americans are getting ticked off at this clown show, and the ratings are absolutely dropping. That's the subject of today's video, and these are the headlines. Americans really, really hate Trump's big, beautiful bill. We got a couple new polls coming out here. And first, this is an approval rating poll from the Quinnipiac. Trump approval is at 38%. The disapproval is at 54%. And the question is, come on, America, can't you do better? I think 38 approval is still too high, but yes, his numbers are sinking. You can see here, down on immigration, down on the economy, down on deportations, down on trade. That poll is dated from June 5th to June 9th, so we'll see the updated poll and get that when we have it. Also, this was an interesting one. Again, 38% approval. We also have a share of people in select countries who say they have no confidence in Trump to do the right thing, right? So which countries have no confidence in Trump? The top one would be Mexico, then Sweden, Germany, Spain, and Turkey. If you're in one of these countries, let me know if you agree. Do the local people around you say, yep, I totally agree. I have no confidence in Trump. Other things that this poll came out with is that people describe Trump as being dangerous, arrogant, and strong. If you're curious which countries might have some confidence in Trump, these are the top ones: Hungary, Kenya, Israel, India, and Nigeria. So if you're one of those countries, please let me know if you agree. So I think it's an interesting one. So Trump basically is crashing in the polls. He's got this awful policy. And so they've decided to change strategy. What's their new strategy? Let's ask Lutnick. What's your guys' new strategy?
Exactly. We were deeply respectful. There was no yelling and screaming, none of that stuff. It was just deeply respectful. Let's get down to it. Our leaders.
So according to Lutnick, the new strategy is no yelling or screaming. Yes, that's their new strategy. That was in regards to trade talks with China. Our new strategy is no yelling or screaming. This is also their new strategy, and I mentioned this in the last video. I got to mention it again because it is a crazy, crazy story. Trump has been reported to be trying to send a letter to Kim Jong-un in North Korea. What are the contents of the letter? I don't know. You have to ask Trump, but it could be a couple things. It could be maybe, hey, what's it like when no one likes you? How do you deal with it? It could be possibly, can I build hotels in your home? Who knows? Or maybe he's trying to offer Kim Jong-un, special citizenship in the USA. You never know with what Trump's up to. But the funniest crap is that Trump's trying to send a letter to North Korea to Kim Jong-un, but actually they're refusing it. Basically what they were doing, they were trying to handle the letter at the UN. And again, North Korea was refusing Trump's letter. This is what Trump said about North Korea and letters back in 2019. Have a listen.
But I just received a beautiful letter from Kim Jong-un. I can't show you the letter, obviously, but it was a very personal, very warm, very nice letter. I appreciate it. And I'll say it again. I think that North Korea has tremendous potential, and he'll be there. I think that North Korea, under his leadership, but North Korea, because of what it represents, the people are great, the land is great, the location is incredible between Russia, China, and South Korea. I think North Korea has tremendous potential, and the one that feels that more than anybody is Kim Jong-un.
He gets it, yeah. So what's going on here, and I'm sure you guys can figure it out. Trump's a real estate guy. He wants to build hotels and casinos in North Korea. So there's a high chance there's a combination of Kim Jong-un, no one else likes me, will you still be my friend, I love you, and can we build a casino together in North Korea? That's probably what it's going to be. And on top of that, if you guys remember the Trump gold card thing, Howard Lutnick announced a few hours ago, the wait is over, trumpcard.gov. The Coin Dad asked, is Bitcoin accepted? Yes, we're talking about these Trump gold card things. Also, Trump tweeted out, the United States of America, for $5 million, the Trump card is coming. Thousands have been calling and asking how they can sign up to ride a that's me adding it, to ride a beautiful road in gaining access to the greatest country and market anywhere in the world. It's called the United States of America. The waiting list is now open to sign up. Go to trumpcard.gov. This is the actual website for the Trump gold card. You can't make this stuff up. Yes, they did put Trump's picture on the thing, and yes, it is very tacky. It says here, the Trump card is coming. My name is, X. I can be from whatever region, and I'm interested as an individual or a business, and you put the size of your, business, etc. This is basically calls for, hey, do you want to do open bribery? Would you like to do money laundering? Come on into the USA. And, you know, I guess if you're lucky, you can be one of the first to get your Trump gold card, only $5 million. So for real. On top of that, Lutnick in the negotiations with China in the UK was commenting on the room that they were doing the negotiations in. Have a listen.
And we got together on Monday. And I want to say the people from the UK couldn't have been kinder. They set up everything. They were fantastic for us. They created a great place. And I got to tell you, the room we were in was a perfect, I never felt more comfortable because every inch of the room was gold leafed. I mean, it was like Donald Trump. It was like the perfect place to negotiate a Donald Trump deal. President Trump would have loved that room. It was perfect.
It was perfect, guys. It had gold everywhere. And, you know, for all we know, maybe Howard Lutnick was trying to sell gold cards to the Chinese diplomats. You never know with these people, as this guy is a used car salesman. On top of that, even though Trump's polls numbers are melting, he's like, you know what? I'm going to go see a musical because let's make the clown show even more merry. This is Trump at the musical. I'm not making it up. They went to a musical at the Kennedy Center, Les Mis. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Mr. President, can you tell us a question on the musical? Have you seen the musical before, and do you identify more with Jean Valjean or Javert?
That's a tough one. That last part of that question, that's tough. I think you better answer that one, honey. I don't know. I've seen it. We've seen it a number of times. It's fantastic. I thought it was just about our first choice.
So he claims he's seen the musical a number of times, yet he doesn't know who the hero and the villain is. Or maybe he really wants to say, I identify with the villain, but just is afraid to do so. Basically, it's like saying, I went to go see the Star Wars, and someone asks, who do you like, Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker? And it's like, well, you know, I'm not really sure. That's seriously what we're talking about here. On top of that, he's probably kind of ashamed about this. He got booed in his entrance over at the musical. Have a listen to this. So that's Trump getting booed, and it was not just fun and games and getting booed at the Les Mis event. They also asked him about trade, what's going on with that, and let's see what he has to say.
I have a my question is on trade. Would you be willing to extend the deadline for trade talks with these countries?
I would, but I don't think we're going to have that necessity. We made a great deal with China. We're very happy with it. We have everything we need, and we're going to do very well with it, and hopefully they are too. That was a very big one. As you know, we did with the UK, and I tell you what, we're rocking in terms of deals. Now, at a certain point, we're just going to send letters out.
Okay, so if you heard what he's saying here, first he's saying we're rocking it in terms of deals, yet there is no deals. He's overplaying and misrepresenting what's going on with China and the UK. Basically, they have frameworks of a deal, framework of a plan. They're just basically going to keep talking about it, but he's claiming deals made. And then, as he said, they're sending out letters. True story. So just like the Kim Jong-un letter, I guess we're going to send out letters to all the countries. This was the headline from Bloomberg. Trump says again he'll set unilateral tariffs in 2 weeks. So I guess possibly tariffs are going up in all the countries in the world. We're going to find out in a couple of weeks. And this was the actual quote. At a certain point, we're just going to send letters out. And I think you understand that, saying this is the deal. You can take it or leave it. Kind of what it sounds like to me, guys, is before, you know, Trump is trying to get people on the phone. They're calling them up. Oh, you talk to me? No. You talk to me? No. And then at this point, it's like, now we're sending out letters of like, do you like me or not? Click, you know, yes, check the box, no. It's frankly insane. That's where we are. And this is a clown show. And on top of that, it's also unfortunately dangerous. These are headlines out today. I don't want to make any jokes about this. I'll just say this. This is not a good situation. Air India Boeing, another Boeing plane, basically. 787 from Ahmedabad to London, Gatwick crashes. So we have another plane crash involving a Boeing plane. I don't know the exact cause. I think I read that maybe the plane was 10 years old, so a bit old. That could be the cause, but either way, it's not good. And part of this trade stuff, guys, in my opinion, I think it's an easy one to take. If the USA really wanted to do very, very well with trades and exports, etc., make good products. Make products that people want, right? Make products that work. You want the American flag to represent quality, right? And when you see these kind of stories, it's damaging to the USA. It's damaging to our companies. It's damaging to, people who literally risk their lives using American products. So we'll get more information regarding what happened to the Boeing plane, but it's just not a good situation all the way around. On top of that, you have Trump at the leadership position, and I know, people, want to hear more jokes and this kind of stuff. It's hard to laugh at this stuff because I understand, guys. It's very stressful out there. Sometimes people say, Chris, you like to come to the channel because we, try to lighten it up a little bit, but it is really stressful every day, to be honest with you guys, going through these things. But my main goal here is just to keep you informed because there's a lot of stuff going on and it's just pure chaos all the time. Let's see what Trump has to say, though, about this stuff.
And I think you understand that, saying this is the deal. You can take it or you can leave it. You don't have to use it. You don't have to shop in the United States, as I say. So at a certain point, we'll do that. We're not quite ready. We're dealing with quite a few countries, and they all want to make a deal with us, every one of them.
Who's next? Who are you expecting to get a deal with next?
Well, we're dealing with Japan. We're dealing with South Korea. We're dealing with a lot of them. We're dealing with about 15 countries, but as you know, we have about 150 plus. You can't do that. So we're going to be sending letters out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, to countries, telling them what the deal is, like I did with EU.
And are you happy with the EU right now? You were unhappy with them about 10 days ago.
Well, I'll let you know in about a week. They do want to negotiate.
Okay, so what are we trying to do? Deals with, what do you say, Japan, South Korea, where I'm at. I'm in Korea. What do you think about the EU? I'll let you know. I mean, this is just nuts. And these guys are all over the map. They're just trying everything they possibly can. At this point, they're trying to throw the kitchen sink at it. The issue, though, is that Trump's got a bunch of amateurs. You guys know this, we talked this before, Ludnick, Bessent, Greer, running our trade talks and trade team. And China's just walking all over USA right now. This is actually one of the biggest headlines that just came out today. China demands sensitive information for rare earth exports, companies warn. The basic gist of this is that if you want China's materials, they want a heck of a lot of information from your company. And I'm wondering if Trump and his team are going to be selling out, various trade secrets or whatever. And I'm not kidding. If you see this, which I'm showing you right now, you'll see how like basically China wants everything. If you want our materials, hand over everything. Listen, under the current rare earths licensing regime, China requires foreign companies to submit comprehensive data about their operations, workforce, end-use applications, and production information. Companies can also be asked to provide images of products, facilities, and details of past business relationships according to the Commerce Ministry guidelines for dual-use exports. Just think about this. Think about, let this sink in what this stuff is. It's like, hey, tell us how many people work there. What are you using with our materials? Who are you doing business with? Give me your list of clients, both current and past. I want to see pictures of all your factories and pictures of all your products. Like basically, hey, just hand over everything that your company does, all your trade secrets, and hey, we'll send you the materials. But ultimately, I think you guys know where this is going, right? China then could certainly develop their own companies and just start building up and taking over and just really taking the lead. We're already seeing it here. So for example, BYD brings EV price wars to small cars in Europe. And from the consumer perspective, if you go to the store and you're shopping for a car and you're like, hey, which car I want to get, you're going to get the one that gets the best value. You may not necessarily thinking about country of origin. And I don't want to say, like never buy Chinese or always buy Chinese. Just you make the decision for yourself as a consumer. I'll put it to you this way. Back in the 80s in USA, when Japanese cars first come, there are a lot of people who are really anti-Japanese, right? Some of that was racism, some of that was sort of nationalism, various reasons why people were that. But then as time developed, just over time, Japanese cars just were the better value. It's like Honda and Toyotas are just really, really good. And in fact, it got to the point to where American car companies don't even really make cars anymore. And then on top of that, now you have the Korean cars that are pretty good, right? Be it Kia, be it Hyundai. I've mentioned this before on the channel. You guys know these brands. And now if BYD enters into the market, man, it's just all bets are off. Essentially, you got all these really good choices of cars. So, like I said, I'm not like for or against, any particular, country or company. For me as a consumer, I just want good products. But I will say this though, I don't necessarily, cheer for American companies to fail. I want American companies to do well. But I also want to understand that in order to do well, you got to put out good products. That's why I mentioned the Boeing thing. Don't try to force countries and, force people to buy your, crappy products that crash. Put out good products and people and customers will come. I think that's a good way to say it. And that's why BYD is absolutely crushing it lately. Their prices are low and they put out stuff that people like. So for example, bad news for Tesla, Britain is going bonkers for Chinese cars. And I was reading this, it's kind of interesting. So for those of you in the UK, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this stuff. It says here, according to data from Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, vehicles manufactured in China made up 9.4% of all UK sales in May. And back in 2024, that was like only 5.5. So basically they're, becoming a larger percentage of the market share. People are buying, like Polestar here mentions Geely, right? Those sales are up. And then, Tesla's absolutely crashing, as you guys already know. On top of that, the sort of situation with Trump and his polling data and the recent actions in California have a lot of his sort of supporters questioning that. And I want to have you listen to this. This is interesting. This is a MAGA person here.
Vincent, you voted for Donald Trump?
Yes, I did.
6 Nicaraguan men on May 27th were detained along US 1 in Sugarloaf Key on their way to a job. Vincent Scardina is the owner of the roofing company where they worked. Given his support for the president, we asked what he would tell the commander-in-chief.
What happened here? This situation is just blatantly not at all what they said it was.
While he agrees with most of the president's policies, he thought the Trump administration was going to focus solely on deporting criminals. It seems immigration officials, he says, are just trying to meet quotas now.
Buyer's remorse? I don't know. A little bit. I know of one landscaper that lost 9 or 10 of the whole crew he had, and he's just totally out of business all of a sudden.
It's pretty obvious, I would say, that the reason why they were pulled over is because they're Latino men.
Their immigration attorney says it should not have happened because 5 of the 6 have their paperwork in order with pending asylum cases.
And that's what Trump's priorities are, guys. It's, deporting gardeners, people who are fixing your roofs. He wants to deport people who wash dishes, this kind of thing. And even his own voters, they still haven't quite turned the page on Trump quite yet. But I think the longer this goes and start to see, wow, my friend's business went out of business because of Trump, or I lost my neighbor because of Trump, and yeah, wow, that person was a nice, nice family, nice guy, etc. I think people will come, and that's why you're seeing the poll numbers absolutely sink. On top of that, you have this, LA braces for Marines as California sues to stop military involvement. I mean, that whole thing is absolutely a mess there. And then Trump is this a distraction? I don't know. Maybe now we're starting a war with Iran. And this is where, it's funny to laugh at the clown show stuff, but honestly, it's also scary, to be perfectly frank. Like, do you want this guy in charge of the button and the football, whatever? Have a listen to what he has to say about Iran.
Could you provide an update on Iran? We're hearing reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are being, we've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Is there anything that could be done to dial the temperature down in the region?
They can't have a nuclear weapon, very simply. They can't have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to allow that.
He was saying, we're moving out our people. They've been given notice. These are the headlines here. U.S. to move some diplomats out of Mideast as Iran tensions rise. And I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen here. Some reporting saying that there's a possible imminent attack from Israel. And so maybe U.S. got word that get the Americans out, then Israel will attack. Or, Americans are going to attack with Israel. I don't know. That part I don't know. We'll find out. But this is something you always want to, yes, we make fun of Trump and he's an idiot and his people are idiots. But unfortunately, they're in positions of power that can make the world that more dangerous. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you what's going on. Please share your thoughts, and I'll catch you on the next video.